In this chapter, we will have a look how correctly use Redshift object tag. Select object which you would like to use with object tag. Go to Tags, now Redshift tags, Redshift object. And here is our Redshift object tag icon. We have basic section when you can change the name, visibility section, and if you would like to use visibility section, you have to click on the override. And as you can see, that's exactly section when you can play with the visibility of the objects, their shadows, reflection, refractions, or with global illumination and caustics as well. As example, if we will turn off primary ray visible, we don't see anymore our entire object, but we see his shadows, his reflection, and also his collision with the volumetric light. Or as another example, we can turn off visibility in the reflection, and as you can see, we don't see reflection from our object anymore. Or if we will turn off secondary ray visible, you will immediately lose the reflection and the refractions contribution from our object. And of course, the same workflow working for shadows, global illumination, and how to use correctly object tag for photons and for caustics, I will show you in chapter Caustic Workflow. So if you need to have control of visibility of your reflection in surroundings objects, your shadow, refractions, or other stuff, use Redshift object tag, where under visibility you have full control of these operations. Next section we have geometry, where we have control of tessellation and displacement. And in displacement chapter, I will show you all details about those parameters and how correctly use them. Next we have Mate section for mate correction. Next is Object ID section, where you can change object identification number. Don't forget to click on override if you would like to use it. Next section we have Motion Blur. For Motion Blur we have separated chapter where we will have look on all important details. And as last section is Exclusion, which has exactly the same workflow as Cinema 4D objects or Redshift light exclusion. So you should understand already how it works. In this example, I will show you how we can make visible our lines or curves with Redshift object tag. Go to Tags, Redshift tags, and Redshift object. Select your Redshift object tag, and as you can see, we are getting new tab with name curve. And if you will change mode from disable to hair strands, immediately you can see in our render view that we are getting visible results. And we can use scale graph to change scale of our curve across her length. And also we can change thickness, so let's to make our curve more visible. And as I will change position on the end now as well, you can see how I am changing shape of our curve. And if you need to add more points, push Ctrl and click on the curve, and after that you can drag with points. So as you can see in our render view, you have full control of scale changes across the entire length of our curves. And you can use different kind of the shapes as boxes. And I will use higher values for thickness to see it even more obvious. And again, you can use scale graph to change shape of your curve across the entire length. Or if you need, you can use the right mouse button and reset your curve. And now it will be much more easier to manipulate with your scale. As next mode, we have cylinders. Or we can use also capsules, cones. And as you can see, cone mode has different size on the beginning and different on the end. So again, you have ability to manipulate with your scale curve. And last mode is strips. So again, we can use the same workflow. And also if we need, we can change interpolation, use resample or mesh subdivision. And as last example, we will have look on the particles visualization. And again, we have to use Redshift object tag. Go to Tags, Redshift tags, Redshift object. And again, Redshift recognized that we would like to use particles, so we are able to set up our particle visualization now. Switch from disable mode to point instances, and immediately we can see how looks our particles. And we can change scale of our particles to changing scale multiplier. But if you would like to change look or color of your particles, you have to apply material on your particles, and you will do those changes in shader graph. Let's to have look at looks other modes. Next mode we have sphere instances, and as you can see it's nice 3D representation. We can use also quad instances or optimized spheres, which are not so heavy for our computer performance. And as last we have custom objects, where we can use any object. So let's to try as example some torus. We will change scale of our torus, select our object tag, and drag and drop torus into the custom objects field. Change scale multiplier, or if you would like to keep default value for scale multiplier, you always can change scale of torus directly. And as you can see, as we are changing scale of the object, we are affecting final results of scale of the particles as well. And now if you will apply material on your torus, as you can see, it will change look of your particles as well.